I was sleeping. And I just woke up and I had to write it down, and this is the first time I've sort of spoken about this, but yeah, so I'm just going to finish on this. So, my ancestors walk with me every day and every night to help me protect, preserve and fight for our right. We shall rise, we shall stand, our voices will be heard. Walawani.
Thank you. See where I invited it? I just want to acknowledge the organisers of this event, Sue, for being flexible with Ami's introduction. I want to thank Ami for being such a powerhouse. She tells it how it is, and without her standing here with me tonight, I may not have been here. This topic is actually very spiritually draining, not only for non-Aboriginal people, but the significance that it has on us as Aboriginal people is quite large. And we don't deny that it doesn't affect non-Aboriginal people, but there is a sadness that comes with this. So before, as I said, I'd like to acknowledge the land on which I stand, which is the home of the Dirrangarnch people. I'd like to acknowledge all elders, past and present. I'd like to acknowledge all Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people in the room. I want to acknowledge the Bega Valley because you have embraced me as a person. You have helped me grow. And I want to acknowledge the young people because you will be our future leaders of our communities. I appreciate that you have all been sitting here probably quite a while, and I just want to thank you for doing that. I just want you to also know that me and Ami, you can see she's a powerhouse, so we're going to mix it up at the end, and we'd love you to participate, please. I was only going to do one poem, but as I walked in, I sat next to a gentleman who asked, hey, and said, are you going to do your poetry tonight? And I said, yes. And just because he asked me, I'm actually going to just chuck this one in quickly, because I appreciate that. And I just want to say that I am performing at the Festival of Open Minds. Thank you, Ian Campbell and his team, for inviting me to that space. Please come along. I've got some really good, big stuff happening for that, so I invite you to come along to that. This poem, the reason why I want to say it is because it's in regards to my mother. She was a European descendant. She was English and Scottish heritage, and she has been paramount in my journey through life as well. I lost my mother at the age of 9, so I wrote this. I call it Pamela's Spirit Dance. I think of you, and sometimes my heart aches to the point it feels like it breaks. Your spirit marked on my soul. Truth be told, now I know you were not that old. It's hard not to be cold, nor want to fold. However, it's this exact injustice that drives me to be thankful for the life I have been given and the dreams I get to keep living. My mother's angels, a gift of relief, releasing the chains of painful grief. Each milestone unfolding a memory that becomes more distant. as the years go on. The confliction of a fading memory brings tears and fears. The reflection in the mirror, a constant reminder that I am your daughter. Your spirit lives on. However, it will never replace your sweet embrace, your secret lessons, your vivacious character, or now, so I'm told. I know you're still with me. You're with me. Your whispers in my conscience, clearer than ever before, as I no longer mask nor hide that pain, my grief, my journey, a lonely task. I know it's time to let your spirit dance as you did on your country, my country, that place you called home, that dirt track, our living in heaven, that is something I will never forget. As hard as it is, I know it's time to set you free and allow that spirit to dance. My life yours to share as I continue my adventure. I take comfort that someday I will see you again in the dream as things were meant to be. I say that poem because a lot of this room would know of Uncle Ozzie Cruz. He's been a great mentor to me, and I told him about my story, and I actually have non-Aboriginal family that have been connected to Bombala and Pambula through our history. My grandmother's two sisters live in Chura. He told me to talk about that and show the importance to non-Aboriginal people that, it's not just our spirit that's connected here. We're all connected. And we really, Annie spoke of that, we are united in this. So I'll just go on with my speech. Some of you would have heard me speak at the climate change rally. One thing I missed that I wish I also focused on and shall talk about tonight was preservation of sacred sites in Australia. Each piece of this land on which we stand, we are connected to. We are not separate in this. However, the traditional knowledges that exist within this country should be at the forefront, and so should the people. I am Meaghan. I chose this name as it connects, which means spirit in Waka Waka dialect. I choose this name as it connects my whole being to not only my identity, but to the cultural and spiritual connection to these lands. Throughout my talk, I would like you to think about not only what if, but who am I in this what if? My talk tonight is given in simplistic terms, not because I think you're simple, but because I know the minds that surround me understand the depths of this topic. I must say, however, that I am uncomfortable with the thought of urgency within this topic. I feel within this we become fearful, distrusting, and rush a process that needs to be thought out and requires strategic planning. While I do not dismiss fast action needs to happen, but as an Aboriginal woman, I have the personal understanding that our ways and thoughts have been long denied. I've observed this with my family. We need to return to the love, care, compassion, and this thought-out process as we would have with our people in traditional times. We cared and shared for this land as one. Customary law, a separate entity, but also complementing to ensure that the gifts of this land were adhered to. Always keeping in mind the rejuvenation of this land. I asked you to think about your local area and its issues. I If I'm focusing on someone else's country, I'm neglecting my own. I'm considered off country because my bloodline is Waka Waka and Bidjara nations of southwest Queensland. However, wherever I roam, I love that land, its stories and its protocols as I would my own back home. My dreaming story back home is the birth of the rainbow serpent. The Seven Sisters are mountains. Our special waters are the springs that feed that land. Each year I go back. My spirit sinks as this water spring gets lower and lower due to farming practices. And I'm sorry for that bit teary, but I lost an uncle from that exact place this week. The song lines are the veins of the earth that lead to the hearts of these lands. That is a part of the dreaming stories that our elders have passed down as the creation of these lands and how they came to be. They are not fables, they are life. Our mountains, trees, water, all giving us a heartbeat. As Nardi says, this topic brings about trauma, and this distress for me is expressed through writing. Without writing, I'm not sure where I would be. What if we lived upside down? What if we lived in the sky? It's a part of our universe that is underestimated in our connection to us. It's wondrous beauty not dismissed. But what would you do if you could not touch a tree, could not feel or drink water? What if all that you could see, you could not touch or smell? As we move through life, we are slowly losing the human connection, which is paramount to this world surviving. We may be wary of our neighbours, we may use the self-serve checkout. We are on our devices taking photos and forgetting the gifts of textures, sounds, breath, and the lessons our country provides us. Capitalism overrides our country's needs, which leads to destruction, forces us into no choice but to earn money to survive phase. Forgetting what legacy we are leaving for the survivors, next generation, and how we are honouring this land and its people. Just reaffirming what Nardi says, the ancestors that have fought with resistance and risen for our existence still stands. With this last poem, I request kindly if you could please close your eyes. You will receive a direction at the end. And if you are sitting or with somebody with a disability, please hold that person's hand and follow this direction. You'll know. Are we all good? Eyes closed. Yep. I hugged a tree tonight. She called me there. She said, hold me tight and I'll help you fight. So I reached my arms as far around her as I could, the trunk bare. I held her tight and I breathed. She helped me breathe. I look across and see the water, salty smells, like the taste of my tears that I finally least sob. And I see ripples, just like my life. But under the shadow of the night sky and the town lights, the waters glisten amongst these ripples, reminding me of the sun and the moon, the colours of morning, day, afternoon and night delights that rise, fall and change. Like the deep breaths I take, gasping for life, my chest rises and falls, the breath shallow and furious as I hug this tree that gives me life, She reminds me to breathe with her. A calmness and peace enters my spirit. I collapse exhausted and rest my weary body against her. I thank my ancestors for allowing this blow. I thank Mother Earth as she sung to me to hug her fish tree. I breathe, and tonight the moon shall rise and fall, and so will the sun, just like when my life begun. Could you all please, with your eyes still closed, touch the ground on which you sit? Thank you. Thank you everyone for having us. We, as First Nation peoples, really appreciate you as an audience. Thank you for your participation, and we hope we have given the gift that this is a shared experience.